to do so. So it's okay for us to hire anybody that we think is going to do the best job for us. We're not obligated to use them.
And that's why I want to talk to you about it, because I didn't even answer last night. I told them tonight was council meeting, let me come talk to all of you. Like I said, I was going to try to talk to you today, but, I mean, for the amount of money versus the reward, I mean, I didn't see.
Those types of awards that come from FEMA and all the federal governments, they like to see communities collaborate. They like to see counties and cities collaborate. They like to see collaboration between counties, cities, and states. So if you can pull in multiple communities, it helps. You know, they wrote the grant for this RARC, and that was a collaboration between Columbia, Clear, and Montevallo. We got that, okay? And I think, again, part of it is because they like to see communities in our region collaborate. So I think it's a great idea.
Okay, well, like I say, I was going to hit you up with it before, but.
Yeah, we can talk about it, but we do need to talk about that, and
I know it opens on the 19th.
What we can do on the safer as well to get it. I hate to lose that opportunity, so we need to find a way to make that happen.
Okay. Other than that, I mean, everything else is moving along. We skipped the weather last night, most of it.
Yeah. By the way, I think maybe you need an upgrade. You're not over budget this year.
Yeah, well.
So you just need to change that on the charts.
Over budget. Well, you said you liked everything to look green, so I wasn't going to mess.
Well, it's yellow. So.
Well, you know, but, oh yeah, that one is.
And it says slightly over budget, so.
I mean, I'm colorblind. I like the red, so that makes it even.
Well, so that's why inside the yellow bubble is a Y, so that you'll know that it's yellow, and there's a G in the green.
Well, if I actually did it, it would probably be all red, so. But
Anyway,
we're good. So.
All right, anybody got any questions for the chief?
If it's a three-part grant like that, how do they determine who the amount or pieces that?
That's what I left out. I was going there and then I got off base. So each one of those has to be the host. Okay, the host of the grant. They wanted us to do the host because we've had more history in with the grants. So that's another question I was going to ask if that was okay. Now, Charlene's over there probably frowning, but here's another kicker to that. The guy that writes this grant, you know how much trouble and background it is on all the legwork. So in the end, if we're rewarded the grant, his company also can be the manager part of the grant for us, and that's only a $350 cost. Now, to me, that's a no-brainer because you know how much work we put in. That's if it's awarded. But they ask us to be the host. Now, you ask about the money. How do they do that? So the air packs are decided on how many seats you have on the truck. Okay? That's NFPA. So each department, of course, is going to be different. Where we've got probably twice as many seats as they do, we'll get that much more money than they will if it's awarded, naturally, and then we divide it in the end. So it's kind of a trustworthy thing in the end with the host, but we have to make sure that they get their money. So.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions today? Thank you, sir. Library, Jennifer.
We're doing really good at the library. Staffing is great, budget is good. We've had no issues with safety. We did have an estimated 976 visitors for the month of December. We provided $36,829 worth of services in the month of December. That is up from December of 2022. We had Santa and Mrs. Claus join us in December. That was fun. They didn't bring me what I wanted, but that's okay. We had a Christmas kids craft, which was very popular. I think we had 21 kids show up for that. So we were really happy about that. During the week where schools were out for Christmas, we showed a couple Christmas movies. We showed The Grinch and Polar Express. So the kids really seemed to like that. We had popcorn and juice and stuff. But we're ready for 2024, and we're excited with everything that's going on.
Good. So do you think the participation or the volume is up because of those events?
December is usually a slow month anyway, just because of travel. That number of visitors is actually down from the rest of the year, but
up from the previous December.
Yeah, so, yeah, we plan on building on the December activities for the kids this year. So,
Any questions for Jen? Thank you, ma'am. Environmental Services, Dale's not here tonight. He's ill, I believe. So let's take a look. No injuries, he's doing fine on his budget. They've been looking for a grade 2 operator, and that's a challenge, finding somebody who meets that certification or who can attain that certification. It's been that way for a long time. We probably ought to change that bubble to yellow because of the challenge that we're having there. And, sewer lines, there's several sewer projects going on. He says they are in fair condition. I'm not sure which ones he's specifically concerned about there. No change as far as compliance and getting ready to start their training. New office assistant because the old one left last week. Started her work with the county district attorney. And who is it, Charlene, who's coming on?
Kathy Barnes.
Yes. Okay.
She retired from Shelby County Development Services.
Yeah, so she can help out a lot with the permitting and stuff like that because she's had some experience in that area, so she can help that out. So I'm probably not able to ask a lot of questions or answer any questions here, but has anybody got any?
So she's the new employee, not someone that they'll actually have out on the.
No.
Well, so he does have somebody starting January 29th, but he's environmental laborer. So he is still looking for a grade 2 operator.
Good question. Any others? Okay. Community Affairs and Senior Services.
Alright, so December went very, very well. A big thanks to the police department and to our streets department, and to my staff, and to the countless people who made it all happen, because it was a big venture, but it went well, and I think there are only a handful of trees left in the park, and they're all coming down tomorrow, so decorations and all. So, but it was a great December. For senior services, we served only 800 meals in December, but that's because of the holidays and the way that they don't provide food for some of that time. In January, they're gonna go to DC Smokehouse for lunch, the seniors are, and to the Bass Pro Shop, and that was planned previously. Then there are lots of things going on at the Green Hall. Forging Families 5K was Saturday. Tonight, Shelby County Schools is hosting Dale Alexander. He's a financial literacy guy. There's an urban policy meeting, drug court, and a baseball banquet. So, that's right. And then for the Arts Council, they had the premiere of All Creatures Grace Small. It's a small film on Friday night. This Friday and Saturday is Taylor Hicks, and I think there are a few tickets left if anybody would like to go. And then Paul Thorne is on the train.
I think y'all are having an event tonight, isn't the guy doing one?
Yes, yeah, so he is there tonight. Bill Alexander does some financial literacy things. So all the Shelby County High School seniors, or not Shelby County School seniors, did the program this morning, so it was good.
Okay. Any questions for Ally? All right, thank you. Do we have any boards meet since our last meeting with the holidays and all?
Yeah, Park and Rec met last night, just at a high level, we talked about the pickleball course and how much exciting that's gonna be. Sort of brought up, I think that street's gonna turn into a thoroughfare once that gets done, so that'll be good. Other than that, we talked about just some punch list items that we got going for softball and baseball kicking off and some things that gotta be done at both parks. And then, that's basically it. Ashley, any thoughts to that?
Well, that's pretty much it. I mean, the new season starting basketball is going great.
Yeah.
softball registration started.
Yep. I think that's
Anything
it.
else? Any questions for either of these guys? All right. Any other boards?
They met,
Okay. All right, other city business. Is there somebody here from the Shelby County Historical Society?
Yes, sir, that's me.
All right, good. You bet.
Ricky was supposed to be here, but unfortunately he had a memorial service he had to go to, so he could not be here, so I'm here only for half. I think I know everybody, but if you don't know me, my name's Tim Nettles, live here in town. And I'm here as a representative of Shelby County Historical Society located in the old courthouse. 2024 is our 50th anniversary of our organization. So we're gonna have some celebrations going on, and I'm here to formally extend an invitation to Mayor Mitchell and the city council members, and anybody else as well, to come and join us. We're gonna have a celebration on February the 4th at the old courthouse at 2 p.m. To recognize some things that have been done. As you know, the Historical Society has been at the old courthouse for many years. This has been a great supporter of us. This organization has done a whole lot of different things, especially with genealogy and digitizing all of their records. And those records and the way they've done that are used by museums all over the country or world now. There's also a very well-known database called the Albert Datcher, Mr. Datcher Enslaved Peoples database that they've been working on for a pretty long time, and that's been recognized by a lot of people as well, locally and nationally as well. So as part of the celebration this year, we're going to continue that work. We're going to be starting something called Shelby County Families, and it's going to be a collection of histories of important families in this county. And there's research being done on several families right now. Those families will be asked to be in meetings this year, and they'll be presented with some information about their families. So we hope that all of you will think about joining us on February 4th. That's again at 2 o'clock at the old courthouse.
That's great. You guys got any questions? Well, that's good. You know, we have a sort of a jewel there in that museum and the archives, and sometimes I don't think we realize it. We don't do enough promoting it, I guess. And so it's something that's an opportunity for us. And so look forward to February the 4th. That's great.
Is that Sunday? Dr. Miller?
Sunday, yes, sir.
All right. Is there any other business? Anybody on the council wants to bring up?
No, but I will mention that Charlene and I met with
Eric Womack.
Eric Womack last Friday. Talked about the CDBD grant process and all that with the county.
The grant for the pickleball courts?
No, this will be the
Oh, I know what you mean.
the policy.
Oh, the policy.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we had a good conversation. What he's done, he's went around through all the municipalities, just sort of seeing what the needs list of what have you, based on what a CDBG grant would cover. So Charlie and I spent about an hour and a half with him. I thought it was a good conversation, just sort of giving him a partial aside of what we thought would be applicable to that conversation. And he has a good idea. He has a good conversation in terms of the CDBG grants are for big projects, and sometimes they can be drawn out, like a sewer project or a senior center project, where it prevents you from applying for another grant until those projects are done. But he sort of had a buzzword in there talking about shovel-ready projects. So shovel-ready projects meaning they can start tomorrow. If we got a grant today, shovel-ready project means he can start tomorrow and didn't have to worry about environmental stuff or whatever. So had a good conversation about that. That meeting with the county people is next Wednesday. So I think at that time, they will, from what I understand, they'll formalize policy procedure based on what that group will do. And I think he said the first awarding of those grant funds will be October 1 of 2024. So anyway, but what I did take away from that meeting was, and we had a conversation as we talked about when they came and presented, some cities within in the county do not apply just based because their LMI tract is very high, meaning they don't have the low to moderate income is just pretty high. So I asked him, and it seems to me it's probably a 4 to 5 horse race in that, and there's probably 2 big players in that. One, I think one of them is us, and there's a couple of small municipalities or towns or cities that are probably apply there. So I feel pretty good about where we stand in that process. It's just a matter of getting the right focus put on it. So I enjoyed the conversation. I appreciate Charlie being there. So hopefully as we go forward, we'll have some good ideas of what we want to do and get some things done. I really like the idea of the shovel-ready stuff, and that way we get in, get out, and apply for another grant. So I thought that was a good idea. So good.
My understanding of CDBG, since it's a federal monies, depending upon what the project is, for example, if you do a sewer project, you're gonna have to do an environmental study.
Oh yeah, those types of studies. Yes.
And there are gonna be some others where there are gonna be some regulatory things that are gonna have to be done.
Yeah.
But not everything.
No.
And so yes, the shovel-ready stuff makes it easier. The other thing is it is for low to moderate income communities. But, for example, Helena and Alabaster could apply because they don't have to do it at a city level. They can do a project in a portion of their city that might be low to moderate income. But I share the same thing with you based on my conversation with Mayor Puckett and Helena and whatnot. I don't know that they'll expend the effort to try to do it. So I agree with you. I think that this urban county arrangement that we have is going to hopefully benefit Columbiana as far as CDBG grants are concerned. The limit used to be for other than economic development, it used to be $450,000. So if they're going to give away roughly $1 million a year, they could give away 2 or 3 big grants.
Yeah.
And if they're smaller, they can give more than that. And economic development grants were part of CDBG, but were separate, and those were capped at $200,000. So,
I think the process that we'll go through next Wednesday will be determining, because you got to think these grants got to have some type of match. They may not, but I feel like they would be. But that's something that'll be talked about next week too. Is what those grants would. It'll be 80-20, 60-40, 70-30 type deal.
right.
And so that's all being laid out in the next few.
Right. We had to match our sewer grant, which was $450K. I don't remember what the match was, 20%.
Yeah. So I don't know what that match will be, but again, it'll be good money for sure.
Okay, good. Good news. Any other questions for Ricky regarding that? Okay. All right, Mayor's report. The first thing I got on here is this Human Services Coordinated Transportation Plan. I got this email from Shelby County. The Regional Planning Commission of Greater Birmingham is the ones that's doing this Human Services Coordinated Transportation Plan, and it guides decision-making regarding funding for projects that increase mobilities for individuals who are elderly and disabled. And, Columbiana's demographic is slightly older than the state and the national average. So we have a fairly large elderly population and I think a reasonably large disabled population. But they want you to go on their website, that SurveyMonkey link there that I put on this chart, and fill out this survey. And I wanted to talk about it in this meeting because we record it and we put it on our website. And I also want this posted on our website and our Facebook page because we actually need to get the elderly and disabled to take this survey. And for those, because they're the ones who are going to be most benefited from whatever planning that comes out of this. And, so if you have elderly or disabled friends or family, make sure they're aware about this. And again, when you get into a situation, particularly with elderly folks, many of them wouldn't know how to go on the website and do this survey. So help them out, So we're going to put it on our website. We're going to put the link on our Facebook page. And anybody who, sees this this live stream and this recording on our website. But for those of you who are here, go talk it up to your friends so that they know it's out there. And let's make sure that the needs of the elderly and disabled are addressed. I was contacted by Monster Truck Wars, who's interested in hosting an event here in Columbiana. They were wanting to know how to get in touch with making a reservation for the Shelby County Exhibition Center. And I said, well, we'd love to have you in Columbiana, but that's owned and operated by the county. And so I put them in touch with Kendall Williams. Kendall's already been in contact with her, so who knows, we might get a monster truck event. I think hopefully that'll bring some folks into Columbiana and might be a lot of fun. On the 3rd of January, we were notified by the Regional Planning Commission that we got a small economic development grant. It's $10,000. We were going to apply it to this project for this pedestrian mall behind, and repaving the alley behind Main Street. So that was good news on that. And if you didn't already know it, the 2024 elections are really on us now. It's getting hot and heavy. And with that, candidates are starting to come out. Candidates for the 6th Congressional District, which is currently occupied by Gary Palmer, who's running for re-election for a 6th term. One of the other candidates, Garrett Wilson, is planning to come to City Hall day after tomorrow, wants to meet with as many folks on the council as he could and leaders. I've asked Charlene and Jeff and others to come. So Garrett Wilkins will be here. I'm sure we'll be contacted by the others. The other candidates for Congress are Wilkins is a Republican. Obviously, Gary Palmer is a Republican. Ken McFeeters is a Republican challenger. Those three guys will be in the Republican primary, which is held on March the 5th. There's one Democratic challenger, Elizabeth Anderson, so that she won't have a primary to participate, so you won't get a chance to vote for her if you choose to do so until the general election. There's an independent challenger, Kevin Stewart. The primary elections, as I said before, are on March the 5th, and the polling place, it's not at the rec center as it was for so many years. It's at the Grand Hall at Old Mill Square. And I know the last few elections we've had people complaining they were lost. They didn't know where to go. So make sure everybody knows where their polling place is. You can go to the Alabama Secretary of State. You can put in your name and address to check on your registration status, and it'll tell you where your polling place is. So make sure people know that. And then, let's see. Oh, on the 12th, which is later this week, and they do this every year, our state legislators come and present a 2024 Alabama legislative preview for the next legislative session for the state legislature. That's been, in my experience, been very, very informative, and I've really enjoyed that. That's hosted by the Shelby County Chamber. Last year, I think it was at the Pelham Civic Complex. This year it's going to be at Jefferson State, the Shelby campus there. So that's really about all I got. Oh, one thing, interesting. I got a phone call today. I'm not even sure I got a phone call from. And he says, I just wanted to tell you I think you're doing a good job. And I was like, whoa.
You live here?
Yeah. That's kind of what I thought too. Johnny. Because I was taken aback because, typically I am the chief complaints officer. And that's, I usually get nothing but complaints. But, and I didn't know what to say. I didn't know how to respond. And so I said, well, is there anything in particular that you, that made you want to make that comment? And he commented on all the activities that went on in the month of December surrounding Christmas. And I said, well, I didn't have anything to do with that. And so that was our city employees, who, as Allie talked about, all the work that she and so many others were done with the Christmas parade and events like that, and the trees in the park. Alan and his team with all the work they did putting up decorations, the beautification board and all the work that they've done, Main Street, Columbiana, and then all the businesses and all the sponsors for the trees and events that we've had. So I think it's great that the city has been recognized by a lot of folks, got a lot of compliments on the city about our Christmas events and decorations, and hopefully we'll just keep making it better every year. Unfortunately, I didn't get to take the credit for that. So, okay, announcements?
All right, so city offices are closed on Monday, the 15th, for Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Cowboy Day is February the 24th. It's gonna be here soon. And then we're starting to plan for the entire year. So this is when we start talking about bands for Music on Main and all of that stuff. And so if you know somebody and you're interested, I'm not saying we'll pick them, but if you have somebody in mind, send them our way and we can check them out. So.
Okay. All right. Any comments from anyone else? Okay, is it warmer on that side of the room or cooler on that side of the room? Everybody's over there.
Closer to the exit.
All right, well, if there are no other questions or comments, I'll entertain a motion